In 1989, Wayne Gretzky's first seasons with the Kings. The Kings beat Edmonton after they trailed 3-1 in that series. Gretzky and company, they want a repeat performance. Paul Coffey is likely out of the Wales final against either Boston or Montreal. Doctors have told the Penguins defenseman that he could be out 4 to 6 weeks. As for Paul Coffey, in the opening game against Washington, Coffey fractured his jaw when he was struck by a shot of Dmitry Kristich right there. Coffey probably will not return from this injury. Doctors have told him his broken jaw is likely to keep him out of action throughout the Wales Conference Final. Coffey, who further damaged his jaw when he was hit by Dale Hunter in Game 2, says the doctors have told him he is out a minimum of 4 weeks. While they're standing by at the Forum in Montreal, the Bruins with a 3-2 lead in this series. The Bruins and Canadians are getting ready. Let's go out to Jiggs McDonald and John Davidson. They'll have all the action tonight.
Okay, CJ, thank you. Welcome back to the Forum in Montreal. This joint has been jumping. The people are ready for Game 6. Glad you're able to join us. Better buckle up, huh?
Andy Moog starts once again. Only 19 shots to contend with during the 5th game of the series. A win, a 4-1 victory for Boston. He loves the lighting here in the Montreal Forum. And, of course, Patrick Roy starts again. Even though he lost that game 4-1, it may have been his best game of the series. Andre Racicot and Reggie Lemelin, the backup netminders for this one.
The off-ice officials are from Quebec. And Don Koharski is ready to drop the puck between Brian Skrudland and Dave Poulin. Puck bouncing around a little. Poulin pulled Skrudland back. Now Shane Corson feeds it to Keane. And Montreal plays it on into the Boston zone. Moog has left it for Bort. We're experiencing some technical problems early on here. They're being worked on. As Grieco brings the Bruins over the line with a pass to Poulin. Fires one that hit the defenseman Daigneault. He's in the lineup tonight as the Canadians have made a change, obviously. Christian puts the puck back in the net. Poulin to Grieco. We're having some technical problems, some video problems, we understand, originating here on coverage of Game 6. Please bear with us. We're working on the problem as we speak. Montreal has been called for icing the puck. We're 38 seconds into the opening period. Again, I remind you, we're aware of the problems. They are being corrected. Pat Burns knows that he has to correct some problems.
Jigs, yesterday, Pat Burns had his team scheduled to practice away from the Montreal Forum. They were on the team bus heading to the heading to the practice facility, and he had the bus turn around, go back through an area called San Henri here in Montreal, a very poor area, an area where Pat Burns grew up until he was 12 years of age. Just to let his players know that there's people out in the world that work hard, and if they want to work hard, they'll extend this series.
Bit of a leaf out of Mike Milbury's notebook.
I think it's a little different hat there, huh?
Milbury and the Bruins spent the night in less than a 4-star hotel prior to Game 5. And Mike was apologetic to the people who operate that hotel in the discussion with the Black Road. 3 seconds into the opening period. Again, we experience some technical problems. They're being corrected as we speak. The Bruins and the Canadians, Game 6. We should have things corrected momentarily. The Boston coaching staff sending out Neely with Janney and Nyland. Let's see who Montreal counters with. It's going to be Carbonneau with Courtnall and McPhee. Now Hodge has come on the ice. It'll be Hodge with Nyland and Neely, and Janney has gone back.
For the draw, Jigs, with a defensive zone draw for Boston. Pat Burns wants this defensive line centered by Carbonneau to think about defense before they think about offense, as Carbonneau was on the ice for all 4 goals scored in Boston during the last game of this series. The 4 goals scored by Boston.
And Hodge isn't going to be around for the face-off, JD. And Neely will take the draw with Carbonneau. Neely played it to the far boards. McPhee was there. Hodge had been waved out with the Bruins trying to clear the puck out through center. Neely put a shoulder into Courtnall. Now Carbonneau slaps it out of the air, and Galley gives chase. Gary Galley up the far side, away from Nyland, the length of the ice. Icing waved off. The linesmen tonight are 3 Knox and Gerard Gauthier. Loose puck in the Montreal zone. The Canadians fail to recover. Neely holding it in here. Puts it back to the net for CJ. Greg Janney to Galley. Loose in front. Nyland couldn't get a poke at it. The Montreal goal is loose. And play call.
It's been a very interesting matchup throughout the series. A lot of times you'll see Mike Milbury put the defensive pair, Bork and Wesley on the ice, have a nice five-man unit. Neely had a tooth chipped during the last game from the stick of Carbonneau, but certainly appears to be all right. They love to feed the slot anytime Neely's on the ice. Watch Schneider move into the net, give it a little shove. Become a defensive play now in this league, Jigs. Defensemen knocking the net off in their own zone to stop play, as long as they do it discreetly.
Again, we experienced some technical problems. Please bear with us. Nyland has given the puck to Neely to Janney, and his shot went wide. Dufresne from back of the Montreal net. Trying to lift one off the glass, put it up into the seats instead. We have yet to reach the 2-minute mark. Time played in the opening period. We've had a lot of play stoppages. Guy Carbonneau with his hands full tonight. He'll draw the assignment of taking the key defensive faceoff.
Well, of course, he's always on the ice when Janney's on the ice, and the job for Carbonneau is not to allow Janney to get the puck to Neely. Now, Neely and Bork, as a unit, have 8 of the 14 Boston goals that have been scored in this series.
Here we are, Janney against Carbonneau, and the Canadians win the draw on their own end. Desjardins sets up back of the net. Carbonneau turns, goes up the right side. Desjardins elects to carry it out. Now he gives it to Carbonneau and put off his stick. Courtnall races it after it. Galley lined him up. Galley goes down, the puck underneath the Boston defenseman, and play is called. They jab at it. We saw a lot of scrums after the whistle in Game 5, and it appears that Game 6 will follow the same format. But referee Don Koharski is in quickly, signaling some penalties. He's got Chris Nyland leaving. Carbonneau is going to go off the ice as well, matching penalties early in the game.
Hollywood Pictures presents Michael Keaton as One Good Cop. In the battle for the streets, the line has been drawn. He's fighting a war that America can't afford to lose. One Good Cop, rated R, starts Friday. And from Touchstone Pictures, it's Sylvester Stallone in Oscar.
Sylvester Stallone puts aside his big macho image, and he's funny.
It was a different Stallone than I've ever seen before.
He's much better in comedy than that Rambo stuff.
Oscar, rated PG, now playing. And One Good Cop starts Friday.
Matching roughing penalties. Carbonneau of the Canadians, Nyland of the Boston Bruins. 2 minutes and 11 seconds into the opening period.
See the play here. You'll see Nyland come in and get a little upset with Courtnall, who was jamming away trying to find the puck that was underneath Galley. And everybody got together. It's interesting, Jigs. Mike Milbury leaving Neely and Janney on the ice here. This is a long shift for them, and that means that McPhee and Courtnall have to stay out there, and they put Gilchrist on the ice at center ice in place of Carbonneau, who's in the penalty box. So it's a long shift for these particular forwards.
The Canadians got the draw, setting up that shot that got through to Moe. First shot on goal in this game. Handled routinely by Moog, sweeps it across to Lazaro. He's tripped by Gilchrist. Play allowed to continue, and Gary Galley put it right on Courtnall's stick, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Neely plays it through center, and McPhee drops back to Desjardins. It's knocked away. Neely gets to it. Sidestep the hit, and here's Janney into the Montreal zone. Janney goes cross ice. Don Sweeney unloads, and it was blocked by Courtnall. Knocked back by Desjardins. The Canadians defenseman has set up McPhee, shoots from the line, and Moog makes the save. Janney trying to take it around behind the net. Too much on it. Gary Galley controls it here, and his pass was behind Janney. Janney had looked to the left, the pass to the right. That will result in an icing call against Boston.
McPhee with the shot, only his 10th shot of the series, but of course his primary job is to work on the defensive side of things. Gary Galley got through Game 5 after missing time because of the hamstring, and he got through it very well. Some soreness, but not a lot. And Jake, it's amazing to see how settled Boston has become with Galley back in the lineup. Montreal's pressured them here, but with Galley, it's just relaxation back there. They don't panic. Ray Bork's been on the ice for 24 of the 28 goals scored in this series.
Well, that is amazing.
14 goals apiece. Bork's been on for 24 of them. That tells you a couple of things. One, he plays a lot, and two, something generally happens when he's out there.
And again, we apologize for the technical problems. Just when we thought we had it cleared up, they've come back to haunt us. Burridge ties up Skrudland on the face-off, and the Bruins able to clear the puck. Bork went rink wide, and there's Hoover shooting it into the Canadiens' end. Patrick Roy handles it. And Matthew Schneider moves it up the left wing boards for Roberge. He shot it into the Boston zone. Ken Hammond goes back. Richer into forecheck. Got slowed up. Nice play by Hoover. The Canadiens hold it in with Schneider firing it wide, and now Hoover will clear it out through center ice. Through the skates of the Montreal defenseman over the line as well. And back to the play. And a hack going on here. And the referee, Don Koharski, right on top of the action.
That'll be Hoover going to the penalty box for Boston. And perhaps Richer for Montreal. Hoover for sure, maybe the only player. Could be power play coming up for Montreal. No score here in the Montreal Forum.
It was a simpler time. A time of hope and faith in the future. Blue jeans and white t-shirts were in. And people fell in love with the Miata. A ragtop, a two-seater, a true roadster. Everyone seemed to be feeling pretty good. The Mazda Miata. It not only gives you a glimpse of the 90s, it takes you back as well.
Ron Hoover in the penalty box, Jigs. He reacted to a late hit from Stéphane Richer. Montreal now has had the first power play in each of the 6 games. Of those 6 first-game power plays, they've scored once.
A big chance here on home ice to get the lead. LeBeau got bumped by Bork. Corson came into forecheck, but Logue has played it around the board. Savard is out on the point with Desjardins. It's Corson, Courtnall, and LeBeau works the forward unit, and they gave the puck away. Raymond Bork, nice outlet off the stick of Poulin. Desjardins turns it over. Here's Poulin bringing it outside the zone. Dropped it back to Wesley. He'll fire it off the boards at center, and the Canadiens have to give chase. Boston changing up now. Burridge has come out to replace Poulin. Wesley will get a rest as Don Sweeney plays the left side of the Boston defense. Cutting through the middle is Courtnall. Over the line, holding onto the puck, and tried to get it to Savard, and it didn't work. A 2-on-1 for Boston. Burridge carrying it. He shoots. Waugh makes the save. That shot was up high. Brought back here by Savard. They double team him at center and knock it away. Courtnall gets it across the line. Onside. The ball scores!
Diggs. Patrick Roy made his first save of the game. It was a 2-on-1 for Boston, and Montreal came right back up the ice. Courtnall found the open man, and does Boston ever have a breakdown there? Galley was on one side of the ice, Sweeney, the other defenseman, over there on those boards, and as soon as he missed Courtnall put the puck in front, and it was 2 Montreal Canadian players there. The puck went through the legs of Andy Moe as LeBeau had lots of time to make the play, and Montreal get the first one here in this game.
Big play by Stephen LeBeau, not only to score the goal, but to stay onside to begin with. And the power play works at 4:44 of the opening period. Courtnall will get an assist. So it's 1-0. Montreal give an assist to Savard on that goal as well. One shot from the point is blocked. Now by Deep Carbonell, got tripped up. Play allowed to continue. Here's Matthew Schneider. Defenseman with a shot into Moog's catching glove, and the Bruins with Neely knocked off the puck. Able to clear it out of the zone. Good play by Don Sweeney to help out. Sweeney and Galley with Ruzicka, Janney, and Neely for Boston. Richer, McPhee, and Carbonell for Montreal. Nice poke check by Carbonell, knocking it off Ruzicka's stick.
Gilroy wanted to get Ruzicka on the ice early in this game instead of waiting till a 10-minute mark like he did in Game 5 of this series. He wants Ruzicka on the ice to get himself involved early.
Well, it says it's a big man. He can't afford to sit that length of time. Canadians come down 2-on-1. Schneider, and his pass hit Hammond. Bounces to Vladimir Ruzicka. He goes cross ice. Neely couldn't control it at the line, and here's Savard turning for Montreal. Up the middle it goes. Over the line was Keane. It's knocked away. Schneider gets checked by Janney. Right on the puck quickly is Turgeon. Shoots one from the point that hit Neely. Loose deep in the Boston zone. Ruzicka hit by Keane. And Neely at center ice fires a long shot just wide of Patrick Roy. Mike Keane back off the boards. He regains control, then gives it to J.J. Daigneault. Daigneault to Savard. He's over the line. That spinorama move, but it didn't work on Bourque. And Ken Hodge plays it up the far side for Lazaro. Lazaro overled Chris Nyland at center ice. Daigneault back to the Canadiens' defense. Daigneault around the boards. It'll come towards center. Handled there by Wesley with the pass to Beers, to Lazaro, and off the skates of Hodge. Turgeon trying to play it through center ice. Grudlin reached and missed. Nyland had a poke at it. Richer handles it here. Pulls up on right wing as the play is offside. We have 13 minutes remaining in the opening period. Montreal leads 1-0. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
Jake, take a look at that Montreal goal. This is Burridge killing a penalty. He'll get the scoring chance. Watt's first save of the game. And we see Boston stop it there. You see both forwards in the zone. They're trapped. You see Montreal move up ice quickly. Savard on the puck. The next mistake Boston makes, you'll see right there, stop. Both Galley and the forward hitting Savard. That means only Don Sweeney's back. Now he takes himself out of the play, and Courtnall finds the open man. With Galley going up to hit Savard, leaves all that open ice, and there's LeBeau and Corson alone. LeBeau scoring.
LeBeau definitely a goal scorer. That's been his history, both in the minor leagues, the American Hockey League. Drew Jr., of course, here with Montreal when he gets to play. It's his first goal of the playoffs this spring. And Duras is checked. Burridge gets a shot away that hit Odeline. Richer pokes it to a teammate. Odeline, cross ice here. Orson can't get through center ice, and the puck goes out of play. 12 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first period at Montreal.
Now, Mike Milbury was saying with the Skrudland, Richer, Corson line, Jakes, that line as a unit had 8 goals and 8 assists in games 2, 3, and 4 total. Last game they got 1 only on the power play because Mike Milbury put this line that's on the ice now, the stump line, against them. Duras, Burridge, and Hoover. Milbury didn't know what was going to happen tonight because Pat Burns has the last change. Obviously, Pat Burns says my guys should be able to outplay their guys, and we're seeing the same matchup.
A little bigger ice surface, as we talked about here. The Canadiens, you know the story about their speed, and as J.D. pointed out at the outset, their key guys are speed merchants, and they've got to be going. Orson waits for his teammates to get back onside, dumped it in. Wesley with it here, around to Bob Beers. Up the middle to the pass onto the stick of Burridge. Nice feed to Hoover. He shoots from the line, just wide of Juan. Comes out in front, out of the reach of Duras, and Corson comes down the left wing. Into the skates of Skrudland. Got it on the stick here. Gave it to Richer, poked away. Out comes Don Sweeney. Gets a step on Schneider and moves into the backhand and scores!
Well, I can't believe it here in the Montreal Forum. This is the counterpunch play. Montreal has carried the puck. We're just over 8 minutes in. They've been on the go, and here Richer has it taken away by Sweeney. Everybody was even when Sweeney started to take off with the puck, and he puts it right through Patrick Watt. He outskated Odeline, and he outskated Schneider, and he took off. And Jiggs, he'll get to the backhand, get Watt to open up, and actually put the puck through the arm off the outside of the left goaltender. Don Sweeney was questionable for this game because of a bad shoulder. What a play he made.
Nothing wrong with his legs. We talked about the speed game of Montreal. I guess we overlooked the speed of Don Sweeney.
What he did there is he pushed the puck ahead of him so he didn't have to carry it. Then he skated into the puck to finish the breakaway. It was a heads-up play.
Unassisted goal, Don Sweeney at the 8:06 mark. Now Christian, Poulin, and Skriko together for Boston. LeBeau back trying to take Poulin to the boards. The puck loose. Can't control it. Turning on him is Christian. Christian gets knocked down. The puck loose for Dave Poulin. Backhanded out of the zone. Chasing it back is Raymond Bourque. Oh, puts it back to the net. Pretty quickly for Montreal is Robert. The Canadians get to it at the line. Desjardins loses it to Skriko. And the goal was there, but Hammond knocked it away. Now Bourque is able to clear it outside the line, only to have Desjardins shoot it right back in. It rattles around to the near side, and Poulin has poked it through Christian and out towards center.
Andy Moog.
Here's another break. Skriko moves in. Waz got that shot. Boston quick to get to the loose puck, and they've had Patrick Waugh doing a little dance in that goal mouth.
Mission: create the ultimate automobile polish. Mission accomplished. Liquid Crystal, the most technologically advanced automobile polish ever made. A dull, faded blazer, the shine instantly restored with no rubbing, no buffing. And after 104 car washes, water still beads. Liquid Crystal will shine and protect better than any car wax you've ever used, or your money back. Liquid Crystal, quite simply, the best shine and protection money can buy.
Patrick Waugh, JD, has faced only 3 shots. 2 of them on, well, one certainly on the breakaway, and it's a partial breakaway.
Patrick Waugh had 2 of the 3 saves have been tough ones. This is the last one. That's Skriko. Patrick Waugh is able to move out to meet the shooter because there was nobody else with Skriko. No one to pass to. Waugh read the play nicely. He's had a 2-on-1 which he stopped, and then Montreal countered for their power play goal. He then had the breakaway by Sweeney, and Sweeney scored. And then the last shot by Skriko, and Waugh made another save.
This time it's Hodge and Savard on the faceoff, won by the Bruins, but here's pass was picked off, and Turgeon races over the line. Nice play, and a backhander turned aside by Moog. In the forecheck is Keane. Savard there as well. Savard gets pushed away from the puck by Hodge, and it ends up at center ice. Schneider back quickly. Gave it to Cote. Ruzicka moving it on him. Cote playing it through center. They ruled that somebody either did or could have played it, so there's no icing call. And out come the black-clad Bruins. Baduras with a pass that hits Keane, bounces back inside the zone. Beers moves it up the right side. Peter Duras is over the line, trying to get Schneider turned around. He's given it to Hodge for a shot that deflected wide of the net. Comes off the far boards for Mike Keane. To Turgeon, left it at center ice, and Duras forces the Canadians to chase it. We've just passed the 10-minute mark. Opening period here at the Forum. The score tied 1-1. Russ Courtnall on a 2-line pass at a burst of speed. But the pass across 2 lines nullifies that play.
Courtnall trying to show some speed. Turgeon looks like he may get a regular shift here, Jigs. He made a great play to move in and get a backhand shot on Andy Moog. You see here, Keane forced the turnover with a hit on the defenseman. Watch Turgeon go from his left to his right to beat Wesley. Then he goes back with the backhand shot. Not a hard one because Wesley was able to recover, partially able to deflect the puck and not get the velocity on the shot that Turgeon wanted. But you saw just a little bit of what Turgeon can do offensively.
That's a guy that's just nicely back from a broken kneecap. Desjardins handling the puck here for Montreal. But that one, the dip and dive, and Andy Moog saw it all the way. A little knuckleball effect.
J.J. Daniel in the lineup. Sylvain Lefebvre not dressed. The only change for Montreal as far as their defensemen go in this game. Daniel, former member of the Flyers and Vancouver Canucks.
They tell a story about him being with Vancouver. The man you're looking at was the trainer of the Vancouver Canucks at that time, and they devised a way to make the coaches think his legs were a little bigger than they normally would be.
They took some bandages, wrapped them around his legs before he put his shin pads on and his socks and his hockey pants. Kenny Flegger had heard that the coaches thought his legs were too small. He says, "Come on, kid, we'll make them a little bit bigger." And I don't know if it was Harry Neal or Roger Nielsen who was the coach at the time. You guys got fooled by the old trader, guys.
He is crafty. Ken Flager's family lives in Phoenix, Arizona. They're tuned into Sports Channel. Ken doesn't get to spend all that much time with them during the season, although the Bruins did have about a 4-day break between Los Angeles and Chicago earlier, and he got to spend some time there. Took Mike Milbury on a tour. Mike Milbury yell about the tourist attractions the way he's yelling at the officials here because of a long delay in making a change by the Canadians.
Seeing a 1-2-2 formula, and it worked. For Montreal, they had only man up was the centerman. They had 2 men at the top of the circle and 2 men back, the defenseman. Carbonneau won it back, and Courtnall had the shot. A pretty good setup.
8 shots by the Canadians, 3 by the Bruins. Here's Courtnall with another shot off the blocking glove this time. Carbonneau works it in deep for McPhee. To Courtnall, he turns, sets up Carbonneau, who's checked tightly. And Neely unable to move it out of the zone. Courtnall with it here up the slot. Chased wide. Carbonneau was there, and it's poked away by McPhee. Nyland for Boston has given it to Janney. Steps over the line. Janney, now Nyland to the net, and his shot is blocked. Desjardins slaps it out of the air, and Bourque will recover at center ice.
If Boston wants to assess what's happened so far, they better start paying attention to Russ Courtnall. He has really been able to use his speed and make things happen.
Daniel gets bumped by Nyland. After he had made the pass to Courtnall, Carbonneau has it here. He goes to McPhee on left wing. Big shot from the point up high on Moog. Bounced off the back of the net and is taken by Hammond. And Hammond on an RPI has cleared it towards center ice. Going right back in again by Cote. Bourque steps to the center ice area and then drops back. Right on him is Corson. Good forecheck work put up by the Canadians. And again they force the Bruins to go back. Raymond Bourque around to Hoover. Ronnie Hoover had a shovel full of snow and couldn't handle the puck. That's right at the Boston bench where the guys leave the ice. And the build-up forced that play. Now Corson comes down left wing. Pinched nicely by Bourque. Strudlin in after it. Bourque knocked it away from him. And clears the zone. Under 8 minutes to play in the opening period at Montreal. The game tied 1-1. The only playoff game this Saturday night. Canadians dumped it in. Beers will try and move it out. Succeeds. There's Schneider. He and Cote back. Burridge, Lazaro, and Duras, the forward line here for the Bruins. Kicked away by Wesley. Now Montreal over the line to Richer. Up the slot. Nice play by Beers as he tried to cut in on Moog. Back come the Bruins, led by Burridge. The pass to Lazaro. He's surrounded by 3 Canadians. Can't drag the puck through the defense, and Strudlin handles it here. Ryan Strudlin. Off the boards, it's cleared back by Beers. Janney chases it. Tried to knock it away from Schneider. It was handled by Lazaro. And Corson came back to help for Montreal. He fails to clear the zone. Here's Janney. Fakes once and then played it wide of Lazaro. He puts it in front. Waugh dropped down. He didn't see the puck. His teammates are able to bail him out and clear the zone. Up quickly Savard. He gets it now. Across the line. Galley knocks it away, and Don Sweeney plays it out of the zone for Craig Janney. To Cam Neely. Neely cutting to the left. Over the Montreal line. Drops it to Janney. Around McPhee. Janney centered toward Galley, and a nice play by Desjardins. And here's a 2-on-1 for the Canadians. Savard goes in. Moog makes the save. McPhee's rebound is blocked. And Galley has it for the Bruins. Let us to Janney, and Dufresne checked him at center ice. Again, the speed game going. Montreal trying to get into the Boston zone. Courtnall gives it to McPhee. McPhee is poke checked. Nice play by Bourque on that move. Kicked ahead by Skriko to Poulin. Poulin trying to go wide on Cote. Puts it right on, and Waugh leaves it there for his defenseman Dufresne, and that will go over the glass and on into the seats. 6 minutes. All that's remaining in the opening period. The score tied 1-1.
Dressing up, stepping out. If you're talking about fun, that's what it's all about. Shake it up, whoa, put it on, check it out.
When you're in a place where the beat goes on, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
We're talking about cool. It's the right thing now. Check it out. Check it
out. Sports Channel America bringing you Stanley Cup action tonight from Montreal. This, the Adams Division Final. Boston leading the series 3-2 with a chance to wrap it up here tonight. If they don't, we'll be back in Boston on Monday. 1-1 is the score. Dave Poulin centers for Christian and Skriko for Boston, JD. And Carbonell's out there.
This line noted as a defensive line throughout the series for Boston. Jakes Carbonell there for the one reason, to try and control faceoffs in his own zone, which he does nicely here.
And Schneider takes it back of the net. Played it to the right side. Gilchrist crowded by Skriko on the play, and Poulin recovered at center before giving it to Wesley. Now Carbonell leaves the ice. LeBeau has come out to replace him, and the Canadians move it through center, but Bourque is back.
It's been such quick pace to this game that Montreal here have their fourth line on the ice now, trying to spell the other three lines just so they can get themselves well rested to have lots of energy as this game moves along.
Raymond Bourque with a feed to Dave Christian. He's over center ice. Across the Montreal line, dropped it. Poulin failed to pick it up, went back for it, and it's intercepted. Here's LeBeau on a breakaway. One-on-one with Moog. Beaten by Andy Moog. LeBeau puts it in front, and it jumped over the stick of Gilchrist. Now back to Schneider. A drive from the point misses. Cote at the right point. In around the boards. Glenn Wesley has it for Boston. Three Canadians crowding that side of the ice. Smartly, Wesley lifted it over their heads and down into the Canadian zone. Both teams with a chance to make some changes here. They buy some time.
Dave Poulin, during the next stoppage, may go back and give Andy Moog a great big hug. What a play Moog made to stop the breakaway after Dave Poulin allowed LeBeau to steal the puck.
Now the Canadians have found Courtnall on the right side. His outlet is right on McPhee's stick. Look at things open up as Galley pulled away, and the shot blocked again by Moog.
And Montreal is in high gear. They're in overdrive. They're flying, but Andy Moog keeps stopping them.
Now Janney and Ruzicka crisscross as the Bruins move in. Janney with a shot. The butterfly work for Patrick. The save, and back comes to Jardin, the defenseman leading the rush. He dumped it in. Guy Carbonell goes in after it. So does Don Sweeney, and the Bruins come up with the puck. Greg Janney trying to flip it to Ruzicka. It was blocked. Carbonell can't knock it out of the air as Courtnall centered one. Healy puts it back in the net. There's Courtnall to McPhee. Moog the save. Loose puck. Banged out and cleared by Janney with a pass now to Ruzicka. Into the skates of Daly. Three Canadians back. Ruzicka across the line. Comes back. Trying to make the pass to Janney, and it was broken up. That's to Jardin with a feed to Courtnall, knocked away by Ruzicka. Less than 4 minutes to play in the opening period at Montreal. The score tied 1-1. Raymond Bourque with a pass to right wing. Hoover couldn't pick it up. Burridge does. 4 Canadians back as Hoover fires one. It's gloved and held by Patrick Roy. Burridge shoves at Schneider. Sticks come up. Skrudland's in on it. So is Corson. Hoover takes his man. And the officials get things calmed down with 3 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the opening period. Montreal scored first on a power play. Boston came back to tie it. We haven't seen too many of these following the whistles tonight. Game 5 provided a lot of them, but things have settled down, and we'll get a face-off in just a moment.
It's the best time ever to get a Mazda 626 because the value of the 626 is greater than ever. Get a 626LX now and save big on a Mazda value pack. Plus, get $1,500 cash back from Mazda. It's our biggest deal ever, but it won't last forever. Right time, right car, right deal. Save $2,320 on a Mazda 626LX now.
Andy Moog has stood tall. Time and time again, Montreal has used the speed.
There's Davey Poulin not getting the puck deep, and LeBeau tried again to beat Andy Moog low. Andy Moog with quick feet outweighted LeBeau to make the save, and here's McPhee with a quick shot. Andy Moog in perfect position. Moog has had 13 shots come his way. 11 of the 13 have been quality scoring chances as Montreal have been flying.
Raymond Bourque drills one right from the faceoff that took off. Now centered in front. Burridge can't knock it around Schneider. Law went down to cover the low ice, and the Canadians end up turning it over at center. Here's Peter Duras. Make the shot at the blue line, and the play is offside now.
Jakes, once again, we're seeing that matchup with Burridge at center ice doing the job against the Skrudland line. 1-1. Montreal has the power play goal. Boston came back to tie it.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better and better. before, and cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Look at the benches. Mike Milbury in behind the training staff. There he is, runner-up for Coach of the Year. And his counterpart, Pat Burns, is a former Coach of the Year.
Did you see that article in the Ottawa Sun yesterday?
I did, as well.
Saying that Mike Milbury could be one of the final four in line for the general manager's job with the new Ottawa Senators joining the National Hockey League in a couple of seasons.
Keane putting the puck in. Gilchrist gets knocked down. There's going to be a penalty against the Bruins. Raymond Bourque gets to the puck, and now the call for interference will set up the second Montreal power play of the period.
Doris was back-checking. Montreal has been driving to the net with a lot of speed, and Gilchrist was pulled down. Gilchrist just now gave Hoover a little shot as Montreal had made a quick change to get this line opposite the stump line for Mike Milbury. Mike Milbury now working Don Koharski. Keane with a pretty good play to put the puck in front. There's Gilchrist as he's being pulled from behind. Doris knocking Gilchrist down. We've seen in this series Denny Savard go from a primary part of the Montreal power play playing the point against Mike Milbury's penalty killing team. We've also seen Savard sit on the bench at various times, not allowed to participate on the power play on the point. Here in this game, he already has an assist on the power play, and Montreal continues to use him in that posture.
Pat Burns has him out on the left side of the defense. Schneider on the right. The power play is made up of LeBeau at center, Courtnall on the left, Corson on the right. Canadians got the puck back to Schneider. Around the boards, Courtnall waiting for it. He looks towards Savard and plays it in deep, and it's cut off by Moog. Wesley slams it up the board. Schneider is there. It's knocked away by Poulin, and back goes Savard. Eddie Savard to Courtnall. Takes the turn. Has to turn again to get away from Poulin. Lazaro and Poulin up front. Wesley and Bourque in the Boston defense, and the Bruins. Wesley juggled the puck. Corson after it. Wesley rides him toward the corner. Corson a neat recovery. Unable to center it, however, as Raymond Bourque is there, and the Canadians are forced out. 40 seconds has ticked off, and the penalty to Duras. Now Gary Galley and Don Sweeney are out for Boston with Christian and Burridge as the penalty killers up front. Schneider rushing with the puck. Shot it off the stick of Burridge. That slowed everything up and put the play offside.
Corson tried to time the play to get in the zone, Jakes, and with the puck hitting the stick, it knocked Corson offside. You see he heads to the bench with a little bit of frustration as they did not get themselves anything going on the power play. When Boston does a good job penalty killing against Corson and his teammates, it's been the Boston forwards showing quickness. The first unit is Lazaro along with Poulin, and then the unit they have on the ice now is Burridge along with Christian. And what amazes me, Jakes, is Burridge is taking faceoffs in his center ice position, and he has a cast on a wrist, yet he's still able to battle and battle well on the draws.
He just beat Carbonneau there. Now the Canadians control it again. Carbonneau over the line, left it for McPhee. Back to Daniel coming late, centers. Off Galley through McPhee. Burridge is able to knock it away from Desjardins. Mike McPhee back on the puck. Oh, carrying it from behind the net, but it went right to Richer, to the point to Daniel. Back to Richer. Broken up by Galley. Daniel resets the power play at center with a pass to Richer. Cross ice. Desjardins reached and missed, and the Bruins get a break. Christian is over the Montreal line. Burridge coming late, and Richer, nice play to get back. Richer. Good handling out of the zone as he cuts through center ice. Over the line, fakes once, can't get around Sweeney. There's McPhee, the shot is blocked. Loose puck in the rebound, picked up and cleared by Don Sweeney.
Jakes McPhee had 9 shots total going into this game. Over the other games of this series, he's had at least 4 in this first period.
Now Boston slows the tempo a little bit. Tucked it in. Schneider trying to get something organized. Duras just out of the penalty box, puts it back inside the Montreal zone. So the Canadians are denied on the power play this time, and Poulin is robbed, and a glove save by Waugh with that shot. Out comes Mike McPhee with a pass to Skrudlin. He crisscrosses with Keane, and the play broken up at the Boston line. That's Bourque moving it up the boards, held by Cote. Shoots one that's deflected. Referee Don Koharski spotted something in front of the Boston net. He's given the signal for a penalty.
Skrudland was forechecking. He went in on Wesley. Wesley was trying to hold him up, and Skrudland worked him over 2 or 3 times. So Pat Burns looks at his team now. They'll be shorthanded with 36 seconds remaining in the first period after Skrudland takes the penalty in the offensive zone.
Now they want aggressive play, but they don't want to get caught at it.
I think when you see this first period, and you know Don Koharski is a referee, he does not like people that retaliate or reaction penalties. Wesley had his arms up. Skrudland had his arms up. And Skrudland gave Wesley a pretty good pop. Earlier in the period, we saw a penalty to Hoover, Jigs. It was after a hit by Richer. Hoover reacted after the hit. And the coaches should tell their players, I think, if you're going to react after you've been hit, Don Koharski will send you to the penalty box.
I guess that too plays into the hands of the preparation for a game, knowing who the official is and their tendencies, what they call, what they let go.
And then you can pick it up in the first few minutes of a game, how the game will be called.
And now Boston with his man advantage have Neely, Strico, and Janney up front. Paddleford in the corner, taken by Janney. Feeds it back to Wesley, has Bork open, gives him the puck. Bork at the circle, shoots, that's deflected by Corson and well up into the seats. Shane Corson out to help kill off this penalty with Keane. Pat Burns absolutely refuses to talk to the media on the day of a playoff game, the morning of, I should say.
Unless you could sneak around a corner and find him by himself.
Well, yeah, that's true. One-on-one, he's very accommodating.
I guess that's just a rule. They have so many members of the media here in Montreal, the French and the English people, and they all want a piece of Pat Burns. The day before the game, they'll be accommodating. Mike Milbury, he loves to be accommodating. He's very, very good to deal with, game day or not.
Asked him this morning about that story in the paper in Ottawa, possibility of him being the next GM or the GM of the new expansion team. He just looked at us and smiled and said, what are they willing to pay? And the Bruins have killed off the penalty, or at least the period, I should say. Each team with a goal. We reach the end of the first period with the score. The Canadiens won and the Bruins won. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage.
You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Unsurpassably quotable and intimately soulful. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter.
Time Life Music proudly presents Country USA, the most complete country collection ever, bringing you the legendary stars and their biggest hits.
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?
Hello, darling. Nice to see you.
Year by year, you'll enjoy the biggest hits of country music in one great collection.
They say.
Start with 24 original hits from the year 1962.
So break out the bottle. Bring on the crowd.
I've got your picture. She's got you.
Devil woman, let me be and leave me alone. I wanna go home. She thinks I still care.
Country USA 1962. 2 LPs or double-length cassette, $9.99. Compact disc, $11.99. From Time Life Music.
Have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-662-4433 or send $9.99 for 2 LPs or 1 double-length cassette, $11.99 for 1 CD, plus $3.50 shipping to Country USA 1962, Department 74, Box 1322, Buffalo, New York.
We played one period at the Forum. The Canadiens and the Bruins are tied 1-1. Montreal took the lead on a power play. LeBeau scoring his first of the playoffs from Courtnall and Savard 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the game. And then Don Sweeney on a breakaway ties it at the 8:06 mark. Shots on goal in the period for the Canadiens, 14, and by the Bruins, 7. Boston will have a power play when the second period begins. And I'm joined now by Ron Hoover, a young man who got into the lineup the other night, game number 5. Ron, that had to be quite an experience for the coaching staff to say, hey, the biggest game of the season for the Bruins, you're in. You reacted well.
It was a thrill. It's been a while since I've been in, since game 1 against Hartford, and we had a great challenge last night to go out and try and shut down Skrudland's line, and for the most part it worked out real well, and hopefully tonight we'll be able to do the same thing.
Tell us, if you will, what the coaches told you they expected when they mentioned that you would be in the lineup.
Well, they just wanted us to go out there and finish every check and forecheck as much as possible, keep the puck in their end, and try not to make too many turnovers on either blue line. And we're not going to try to play real fancy. We're going to dump it in and muck it out, and hopefully we'll be able to capitalize or keep them off the board.
You played primarily this season at Maine in the American Hockey League, and your coach there, Rick Bonas, tells me that you've picked up a half step in your skating. How do you do that?
Well, I've worked pretty hard all year. I think if you want to play in the NHL, you've got to improve in a lot of areas, and I think that was one area I had to improve in, and I worked hard on it all year, and hopefully that half step, I've gotten that, and hopefully it'll remain.
One area tonight, the Bruins a little overconfident, maybe giving the puck away a few times in that opening period, Ron.
Yeah, the puck seemed to bounce a little bit. I think we've got to get the puck in deep a little more and go establish more of a forechecking like we did the other night. At the blue line, maybe we have to dump it in a little bit more, and if we do that, then I think we'll be successful.
Been a long way from Western Michigan to the National Hockey League. Ron Hoover has made the jump. The Bruins and the Canadiens are tied. It's 1-1. We're at the end of the first period in Montreal, Game 6 of this Wales Conference Championship round.
This is the hand that turned on the light, that lit up the desk where the idea was born for a quieter jet engine that flew the technician who works at the power plant, which produces its energy far more efficiently as it lights up the city and powers the hospital with its life-saving images, where Sam was found healthy, in time for the game, held under the lights and broadcast to millions by a satellite system designed with precision and shipped by powerful locomotives that passed by a factory that helped build a car with advanced thermoplastics that sits in the drive at the home of Patricia, who went to the fridge and got a drink for her dad, who works in the room where he turns out the light as he puts his young daughter to bed.
Every day, GE technology touches the lives of just about everybody.
Dressing up, stepping out. If you're talking about fun, that's what it's all about. Shake it up, whoa, whoa, put it on, check it out.
When you're in a place where the beat goes on, you don't want to fill up. So reach for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
We're talking about cool, like it's the right thing now. Shake it out, check it out.
People love the convenience of fax machines. What most of us don't like are funny paper faxes that curl up and are hard to read. That's why Xerox makes more kinds of plain paper fax machines than anyone else, for documents that are easy to read and a pleasure to handle, because they're on good old plain paper. Plain paper fax machines from Xerox, the way to put it together.
Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
CJ Papa back in our New York studios. Well, Montreal is working hard to stave off elimination from the playoffs. Well, last night, both St. Louis and Los Angeles worked extra in Game 5. Let's take a look at those highlights. First at the Forum in Los Angeles, where the Kings Midway through the first period, it didn't look good. Joe Murphy the pass to Anatoly Semenov. He beats Kelly Rudy, and it's 1-0 Oilers. After Steve Casper tied the game, Luke Robitaille puts the Kings ahead off the scramble in front. His 9th goal of the playoffs makes it 2-1. Still first period, Kings with a 2-man advantage. And watch, Robitaille will get his 2nd goal of the night, makes it 3-1. Second period, Robitaille completes the hat trick. His 11th goal of the playoffs makes it 4-1. The Kings go on to win it 5-2. They're still alive. At the Met Center, first period, Rod Brind'Amour opened the scoring. It's actually at St. Louis Arena, pardon me. He blows by Neil Wilkinson, beating John Casey, and it's 1-0. Second period, Paul Cavallini gets his 2nd goal on the power play. He blasts home a loose puck. It's 2-0. Late in the second, Dan Quinn on a great pass by Brind'Amour, and it's 3-0. And in the third, with a 4-1 lead, Scott Stevens with a big defensive play, and the final was 4-2. St. Louis staves off elimination. They win Game 5. Now remember, in that opening round series against Detroit, St. Louis had to win Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7. Can they do it? Tomorrow night we'll have Game 6 for some of you at the Met Center in Minnesota, St. Louis in Minnesota. And for others, we'll also have the Kings and Oilers. It'll be Game 6 from Northlands Coliseum. After this timeout, we'll send you back to the Forum in Montreal, where the Bruins and Habs are tied at 1.
For my family, Tartar Control Aquafresh fights tartar and makes you feel this fresh.
Tartar Control Aquafresh helps remove plaque and makes you feel this fresh.
Tartar Control Aquafresh fights cavities
and makes you feel this fresh.
Only Tartar Control Aquafresh is the fresh way to fight cavities, fight plaque, and fight tartar, all with one great Aquafresh taste.
Tartar Control Aquafresh.
It fights tartar
And makes you feel this fresh.
You're pushing 2 tons of steel at 200 plus with just a coat of paint between you and the leader. What's going through your mind?
The answer's inside.
What does it take to win at Daytona?
Save yourself.
What's the next technology breakthrough? The greatest moments in NASCAR history.
Stock car fans can now go inside the sport like never before with NASCAR Video Magazine from Time Life Video. You'll never look at stock car racing the same way again, because each video helps you gain greater insight into everything from racing strategy to the latest hardware. Our cameras take you onto the track, into the cars, and into the minds of the legends.
Starting with the Daytona experience, yours for just $9.99. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the Super Bowl of racing with Darrell Waltrip, Richard Petty, and Jeff Bodine. Plus how dyno technology is pushing engine performance and a lot more.
You'll have a great appreciation of how one driver, strapped inside a rocket on wheels, relies on his strategy and nerves of steel to take the checkered flag. Here's how to get started.
Catch a draft to your phone and call to get the Daytona experience for $9.99 plus shipping and handling. Use your credit card and we'll send you a free gift. This NASCAR Daytona 500 board game. Other videos like top 10 drivers, fathers, sons, and brothers, and evolution of the race car will arrive about every other month at $16.99. There's no commitment. Cancel at any time. The NASCAR Video Magazine from Time Life Video.
There's only one Stanley Cup playoff game tonight. It's in Montreal. We're at the end of the first period where the Canadiens and the Bruins are tied 1-1. And our former Sports Channel America colleague, Scotty Bowman, is at the game tonight in a new role. He is the Director of Player Development for the Pittsburgh Penguins. First of all, congratulations to you and the staff at Pittsburgh on winning and waiting the winner of this series.
Thanks a lot, James. We were so excited, you know, because I guess playoffs to me, it's the unexpected. I'm not saying we didn't expect to win because we did finish first, but to have such a thrill to, you know, to go 7 games and come back and win the first series and then be able to win the last 4 against Washington was a great feather in the Pittsburgh Penguins' cap.
I guess this time off now will give some Hurts a chance to heal. What about Paul Coffey? What about the Pittsburgh defense? Are they going to be healthy for the next round?
Well, we're hoping to go 7 games this series, as you would imagine. We'd have a few more days, you know, to rest up fellas like Coffey. He did suffer a pretty serious injury. I don't think Paul would be able to start in the next series. We're hoping that Ulf Samuelsson, he played hurt in a couple of games, and Peter Taglianetti is probably the closest of the three to get back. But you know, Bob Johnson is a stickler for role players. He's been there before. He was with Calgary in the Stanley Cup final a few years ago. He knows that you never know when you might put a player in. I can't say enough for the players that went in. Naturally, the leadership of the veterans like Joey Mullen and Brian Trotze, they were just immense throughout the playoff series. And of course, I thought JD goaltending is always the factor. And Tommy B and Frank Pietrangelo, you can forget about him maybe now that Tommy's played so well, but he came in and won 2 tremendous games in Games 6 and 7 against New Jersey.
Who do you match up best with, the teams you're watching here tonight? Do you match up better with Boston or Montreal?
Well, I think the tradition of the Canadians might be in our minds, that they'd be pretty tough if they got through the Bruins. And we played Boston very well this year, a strong game in Pittsburgh and an overtime game in Boston. And we have some Bostonians, fellas like Kevin Stevens, Joey Mullen went to school there, Tommy Barrasso, so it goes on and on. But when you're looking at it, I don't think there's that much to choose I haven't seen a lot of these two teams in the playoffs, but I really think, Jigs, we're hoping to go 7, and we're happy to be there.
It's really great to see you. Congratulations. He's going into the Hockey Hall of Fame in September in the Builders category. We're at the end of one period at Montreal. The Canadiens and the Bruins are tied 1-1. We'll be back in just a moment.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
It was a simpler time. A time of hope and faith in the future. Blue jeans and white t-shirts were in. And people fell in love with the Miata. A ragtop, a 2-seater, a true roadster. Everyone seemed to be feeling pretty good. The Mazda Miata. It not only gives you a glimpse of the 90s, it takes you back as well.
Mission: create the ultimate automobile polish. Mission accomplished. Liquid Crystal, the most technologically advanced automobile polish ever made. A dull, faded blazer, the shine instantly restored, with no rubbing, no buffing. And after 104 car washes, water still beads. Liquid Crystal will shine and protect better than any car wax you've ever used, or your money back. Liquid Crystal, quite simply, the best shine and protection money can buy.
Yeah, we just scored. No, I didn't see Kevin get hit.
Kev, you okay? I wind up in the hospital, and Bob gets a winning goal.
I couldn't let Kevin miss the party.
I was having a pretty good time where I was.
Friends deserve the best.
Friendship. Just being there.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
I have to be flat on my back to get Bob to buy me a blue.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Labatt's Blue, the crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer. By Liquid Crystal Car Polish. It instantly restores a car's shine. Liquid Crystal, guaranteed to provide the best shine and protection. And by Xerox, the document company.
We're getting ready for the second period. While we have a moment, I'd like to congratulate our colleagues at Sports Channel Chicago, making television history as of Monday. They're becoming the very first regional sports network in the country to program 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What a monumental task. Already the first regional to originate 24 hours on the weekends. They're going to increase their weekday programming. They'll sign on Monday at 6 a.m. and Sports Channel Chicago has no plans to ever sign off again. Boy, oh boy. Congratulations to all the gang in Chicago at Sports Channel Chicago. Regularly bring you Blackhawks play, the Bulls, White Sox, and so many other great sports shows like the Sports Writers, one of my favorites. Good gang there, and that's quite an undertaking. Work for all of us, JD.
Yeah, I hear you.
Overnight, late night. 1-1 the score here. Ruzicka is out with Neely and Janney for Boston. The Carbonell line gets checked at center ice. Here's Ruzicka moving in. The pass to Janney. Shoots off the outside of the net. Centered back to the blue line. Bork with a drive. Power play on the ice here for Boston. Janney looks toward Neely. He was crowded by Schneider, then backs behind the net. Ruzicka's shot hits Carbonneau. Ruzicka centers it back to Wesley. Now to Ruzicka. In deeper, that's Janney. Neely is well covered. Wesley with a shot that's deflected and will be picked up and cleared by Cote. In toward Moog, and the Bruins have 34 seconds left on their power play. And Raymond Bourque steps from back of the net. Up the middle of the ice with it. Bourque dishes it off to Ruzicka. Ruzicka's pass gets through. Janney over on right wing, chased by Corson. Goes back to the net with it. Ruzicka backs in toward the corner. Neely is well covered in front. Here's Raymond Bourque with a shot. Waugh the save. Neely the rebound, testing Waugh with that. Ruzicka centers, but behind Neely. Janney and Schneider after it. Now Neely gets to it. Neely feeds Janney. And the penalty has expired, but the Bruins hold it in the Montreal zone. Janney off the right wing board. Back to Bourque. Bourque shot deflected by Corson. And Schneider steps around Neely and clears it up ahead. Here comes Brian Skrudland, and his pass broken up and cleared by Bourque. Loose pocket center, Ruzicka making it 2-on-1. Feeds Janney. Janney holds it into the slot. Ruzicka to Janney, who's too well covered. In comes Cam Neely, and he puts it deeper in the Montreal end. Cote and Ruzicka shoulder to shoulder. Ruzicka is knocked down. Fell on his back, slow to get up. As the Canadians clear the zone, and dropping back for it, Gary Galley to Dave Poulin. Outside the line, and the Canadians get the play back onside. Richer has shot it in. Corson goes in after it along with Skrudland. Poulin takes his man away from the play, and Don Sweeney can't get out of the zone. Now Poulin does. Dave Poulin over the line, dropped it to Petrie. Streak though, and it's shot right on. Waugh makes the save and holds it. We're 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the second period at Montreal. Still a 1-1 tie.
Putting it together.
If you needed to put together a lot of information into a finished document of the highest copy quality, copy on both sides, reduce, enlarge, insert tabs, add covers, and make 12 perfectly bound booklets all in about 10 minutes, then there's only one copier that can do the job. The Xerox 5090, the way to put it together. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
This is Craig Janney in behind Patrick Waugh. You see Montreal's box to kill that power play. Janney doesn't have the option to go in front, so he's going to try and find Ray Bourque in that area. Montreal sealing off the slot, sealing off Cam Neely. So Janney's other option, go to Ray Bourque for the bad angle shot. Boston had 5 shots, including these 2. And Patrick Waugh was great, Jigs. He was very good to help Montreal kill that penalty.
Canadians outshot the Bruins 2-1 in the first period. There's only a 1-shot difference between the two now, thanks, as you pointed out, to that power play. And moving up with it is Dufresne, has dumped it in. Moog cuts it off. First man back is Don Sweeney. The Duras has put off him to Roberge. He's turned it over, and out comes Hoover. Hoover out of Western Michigan shot it in. It came right back. Hoover bounces one off the defenseman Desjardins. Duras battling for it, but Dufresne is there in the Montreal defense, and his pass is tipped by Roberge and will go wide. Goaltender Andy Moog. Don Sweeney trying to come through a couple of Canadians. Got checked. Savard has knocked off the puck. Richer has it. Richer allowed to walk out of the corner, then got checked by Don Sweeney. Up ice comes Duras right at the end of the shift, so they'll dump it in, and the Canadians send Daigneault in to recover.
Here we see Richer on the ice with a new centerman. He's got Savard out there to try and get more offense instead of Skrudland.
Canadians backed in a little bit, but now the Bruins help them by clearing the puck outside the line in their effort to get it to Bourque. Christian without a helmet. Poulin and Skriko the forwards. Raymond Bourque gave it to Ken Hammond. Hammond's pass off the boards away from Poulin, recovered by Brian Skrudland, then he got checked. Nice recovery by Poulin, and he's given the puck to Ray Bourque. Bourque rushing it over the Montreal line, pulled up on Daigneault, into the middle to Christian, who was coming late, and Richer bumped him. So the Canadians tried to come out of the zone. Skrudland paved the helmet away from the puck, and Poulin got to it. Dave Poulin to Dave Christian, and a weak backhander. Cote had a little trouble with it. Now gives it to Richer. Up to Skrudland, over center, drops it back. Corson is across the line. Corson trying to make the play, center, but Richer was checked beautifully by Dave Poulin. Back come the Bruins. This is Christian feeding Skriko on the right side. Skriko trying to move around Dufresne. Gets pulled back from the puck. Played it to the line for Beers. He's dumped it in. Poulin and Dufresne bumping on the boards. Ryan Skrudland frees it up. He's met by Neely, so the pass to Cote. Brings the Canadians into center ice and then dumps it in. Canadians finding themselves at the end of the shift. Make some quick changes as Skrudland went into forecheck. McPhee and Courtnall have come out. Dufresne waits. Now shoots it in, and Skrudland is replaced by Guy Carbonneau. So the Canadians have the line that they want out there against Janney, Chris Nyland, and Cam Neely. Bob Beers takes the puck. Played it off the boards away from Nyland. The Canadians set up again at center, and Desjardins rattles one around into the Boston zone. Bob Beers pokes it toward Neely, and no further. It goes back to the net to Courtnall. Put it in front. That's cleared by Beers. Here's McPhee. Mike McPhee centers. Janney stepped in front of Carbonneau to break up that pass. Over comes Courtnall. Got some speed going again. Centers one that's broken up in front. Wesley gets to it. Up ahead to Nyland. Now to Janney. Neely with them on the right side. Can't make the pass, and Neely got to it to knock it away from Schneider, who was slow to react. Matthew Schneider gives the puck to Courtnall. Back to Schneider.
So far, this Courtnall line has played the Janney, Neely, Nyland line tough in this game, Jigs. The majority of the time has been spent in the Boston zone when those two lines have gone head-to-head.
Now they get it to center, only to have it broken up. Good matchup, these two lines. Ote gets the Canadians over the line, and this capacity crowd tries to get the Montreal Canadiens revved up. Janney, Neely, Nyland line in the middle of a change, although Neely is still out there as other wingers have left. Or forwards, I should say. And Don Sweeney backhands it around the boards. Chasing it back is Cote. Hodge has come out with Lazaro and Duras. So a mixed bag here for Mike Milbury's Bruins. LeBeau shoots one from the line that went wide. Moog covers it in the goal mouth as LeBeau came racing in. That'll bring about a face-off deep in the Boston zone. Only a one-shot difference between the two teams, and the score tied at 1-1.
We can't win if you can't stop Ricky Henderson.
When something on your mind,
this could get ugly,
or something you eat,
look at that jump,
gives you acid indigestion, it's time for extra strength Rolaids. Fast, 1,000 milligrams strong. Now that spells relief.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt. Why Sports Cream? Massaging Sports Cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why Sports Cream? Because it works.
Tomorrow night on Sports Channel America, the series between the Blues and the North Stars moves back to the Met Center. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will be on hand. Make note of the starting time, 8 o'clock Sunday night. The Stars and the Blues. Some of you will see the action between the Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. Pat Foley and Dale Talon will be at Edmonton to bring you that game as Los Angeles faces elimination, as does the St. Louis Blues team. All of it tomorrow evening right here on Sports Channel America. I'm Jakes McDonald with John Davidson. We're at the Forum in Montreal as Duras tested Waugh with a quick shot. Now he feeds the blue line. That's Raymond Bourque. Kern got it in front. Lazaro was checked. And the Canadians move it up through center ice. Turgeon got it to LeBeau. Now to Richer. Richer into the high slot. Comes in and was crowded by the Boston defense. Boy, did they tighten up on him.
Now Richer's taking the extra step before releasing his shot. Jigs, his shot is so good, he should not worry about the extra step.
Now Duras back the other direction. Shot one wide, and Hodge puts it back in the net. Here's Daigneault, but there'll be a penalty call against Boston once they control the puck. Waugh heads for the bench as the Canadians come to the Boston line. LeBeau with a pass to Richer. His long shot grabbed by Andy Moog, and he'll hold it. Sticks come up a little, but the Canadians are going to the power play, and we pause for a regional break. You're watching Sports Channel America's exclusive Stanley Cup coverage. Third penalty of the game against Boston. Jeff Lazaro gets the gate.
Another one of these penalties in the offensive zone, Jigs. Here we see Lazaro moving in behind, and he was hit. As you see, there's the reaction with a little left shot to the face of Desjardins. And Lazaro, a feisty player, is in the penalty box. Another one of those reaction penalties that Don Kaharski is calling here. This power play starts without Denny Savard on the point on the power play.
We do have Richer, Skrudland, and Corson up front. Schneider and Desjardins on the point.
Richer starting to play more and more in this game. He was double shifted. He was on with the fourth line on that last shift, Jigs.
Canadians controlling the puck. Schneider into the goal mouth, and it's knocked away, recovered by Richer. Now Skrudland around to Richer. Dave Poulin knocks it back to the line, held by Desjardins with a pass to Richer. To Desjardins. High shot wide of the net, and Richer recovers over on right wing. Richer feeds Skrudland. Corson parked in front. They can't get it to him here. Now Skrudland tried to center and hit Wesley. And Glenn Wesley is able to play it around the boards and out of the zone.
Montreal's power play has gotten to the point where it's not all that fancy. Feed the pointman as much as possible and have Corson or Skrudland jammed up in front to screen or deflect the puck.
LeBeau, Corson, and Skrudland, and Richer, I should say, all in deep, in the puck underneath one of the Boston players. 1 minute, 14 seconds left of the penalty to Lazaro.
Interesting to see how Richer reacts in this game. He was involved with the giveaway that led to the goal by Don Sweeney in the first period, yet he's reacted pretty well, getting a little more ice time as Pat Burns fully realizes 1-1 at almost a midway point. Montreal needs finishers out there. Richer's had more ice time. Face-offs, as we see Don Kaharski being attended to. Face-offs important with specialty teamwork, and that's one area the Bruins would love to be better at. Their coaches talked about it quite a bit, especially the Hartford series. They had a lot of problems winning draws. When you're on the power play or killing a penalty, the initial puck possession means a lot.
Backup official tonight is Dennis Morrell on the left side of your screen. On the right, Wally Harris, who is supervising this series.
The legendary Wally Harris.
They'd never be forgotten.
Wayne Bonney is also here as a backup linesman. So lots of gentlemen around in case of problems on the ice, and Don Kaharski appears to be okay.
Yeah, that little nick won't keep him away from blowing the whistle and being part of this game. LeBeau on the draw. It's played through Richer, and Poulin breaks the zone. Schneider trying to cut him off. Nice play by Poulin, then he overshot it. But he gets right back in the puck and finds Raymond Bourque out at center ice. 60 seconds left in the Boston penalty. Bourque takes a look, bangs it off the boards. It hit Christian as it bounced through center now. Schneider gives it to Desjardins. All right, Desjardins checked from behind by Hoover. That gave Galley a chance to play it.
Hoover getting a chance to kill a penalty here as Lazaro, one of the first 4 penalty killers for Boston, is in the penalty box.
Richer through the middle. The pass to LeBeau is knocked away, and Galley clears the zone. The Bruin coaching staff very pleased with the performance of Hoover in game number 5. You can see that confidence level is raised here in game 6. They told him to play tough, make sure the Canadians remembered his name. Portnall rushing with the puck over the line. Can't play it around Galley. Galley gets it to LeBeau. Steps from back of the net. Feeds the point. Cote to Schneider. And it hit the pads of goaltender Andy Moog. Bounced away from Bourque. As he went to clear it, he puts it underneath his defenseman Gary Galley, with the penalty to Lazaro all but over, and Boston doing an excellent job of killing off the Montreal power play.
What is refreshing? It's the taste. The taste that could only come from a cold blue light right out of the ice. Now that's refreshing.
The ties are right out of GQ, aren't they, tonight? You can see from our location here at the Forum what we have to look down upon. One of the best views around the National Hockey League.
I saw a picture today of what is supposed to be the new Forum when they build it in a few years. And the one thing that's constant, Jigs, is the fact that the stands are to be built where the crowd is able to sit near the ice surface, and I think that's what makes this Montreal Forum such a great arena. There's simply not a bad seat in the entire building.
And they're not going to tear this building down either, are they?
Not that I know of, no.
A lot of concerts, a lot of wrestling.
Last night, Scorpion was here, a heavy metal rock band from Germany, sitting in the front row, watching and enjoying it. His favorite band, Rosie Rajichka.
Now, how did he get a front row seat?
Knuckles Nyland coming across. His old buddies.
We'll get a review. I know you were here too, right?
Oh, yeah.
No?
Don't know if Rosie can hear today.
Savard trying to make something happen here for Montreal. Nice backhand base saved by Moog. The rebound was there and now covered by Andy Moog.
Nice moves up high by Denny Savard. The longer he's able to hang on to the puck, the more things can break down if you're the defending team. And finally, Savard got to the backhand shot, but in perfect position as usual in this series is Andy Moog. Andy Moog, Jigs, when he's on top of the goal crease and set for the shot, he's one of the best. And here's Savard. All the Bruins end up on one side of the ice, and you'll see the goaltender. Look where he is, above that rectangular goal crease near the circular one. Look at the Bruins, all overload on one side. There's 4 over there. 4 Bruins on one side of the ice. Savard, with his speed, goes to the backhand. Perfect positioning by Andy Moog as Keane jams away, trying to find the loose puck or rebound.
18 times Andy Moog, including tonight, has faced the Canadiens in playoff hockey. 1-11, lost 6. Patrick Roy has been in, including tonight, 26 games against Boston in his playoff career. 14 wins, 10 losses. Pretty even between the two.
Andy Moog says he loves playing in the Montreal Forum, mainly because the lighting is so good here. Very, very easy to find the puck, especially if there's little deflections or jam-up plays. The lighting is terrific.
That's Savard getting set to face off against Poulin. Wesley bothered by Turgeon, who centers. Savard couldn't hold it. Keane does. Into the corner for Savard. Turgeon pulls away from the front of the net. Savard on a turnaround, and Moog, an excellent save. Savard more involved now as he bumps into Beers, but the puck has gone to Christian at center. Put it in the corner to the right of Patrick Roy, and Cote moves it up the far boards to Turgeon, to Savard. Savard through center ice. Keane got knocked down. There's another penalty call. Montreal was offside, moving into the Boston zone. And another power play for the Montreal Canadiens as Dave Poulin is penalized.